We'll start over.
Okay. So we're going to be talking about SAP, which we call it in short. It's Student Academic Progress. It's the thing that our students have to maintain in order to stay in school. Your handout follows the PowerPoint. And at any time, I'll go through this briefly. The reason we wanted to present this out is because it actually started making changes this month. They went into effect July the 1st. Hey guys, I'll just grab a handout right there. Just started. The changes went into effect July 1st. I've been here since the school opened, and I think we've probably changed that. There have been changes 3 to 4 times. So this is something I think that does continue to change, but this should be it for the most part. So I'm going to go through it. If you have any questions, most of you are probably familiar with it. There are some small changes I will point out. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Okay? Okay, starting. All right, every student that comes to school, they are given a checkpoint. If you are in a degree program, which is an associate's program, you come up for a checkpoint every year, which is 3 quarters. So your first 9 months, you're at a checkpoint, and then you come up, and your second 9 months, you come in at a checkpoint, okay? If you're a diploma and certificate, your checkpoints come quarterly, which is every 3 months. For their checkpoint, we do it in academic years, and of course, academic years are 3 quarters. Here's a chart kind of to point that out. At the end of the first quarter, which is for a certificate diploma, which is 3 months, you must be at a 1.0 GPA, and you must be at a 33.3% ICR. ICR stands for incremental completion rates. You must complete more classes. You can't fail more classes than you're taking, basically. So those are the 2 things we check. We check your GPA and your ICR. And just kind of to back up, and I'll show you this at the end, every month I run a SAP report, okay? And I pull students that are a 2.5 and below, because at a 2.0, that's when you start to be in trouble. You're in jeopardy of either being dismissed or going on probation. Okay, so when you see me around pulling students out of classes, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to them saying, look, you're at a 2.0. At the end of this month, if you don't make this certain grade, or in 3 months, if you don't make a certain grade, you're going to be dismissed. So basically, I'm tracking students who are in jeopardy of being on probation or being dismissed. So at the beginning of every month, I start tracking students, and again, I'll show you this at the end, and I send this out to all department chairs. I track students that are at a 2.5 below, and I track their ICR, okay? So what this is saying is that for a certificate or a diploma, at the end of the first quarter, you've got to be at a 1.0, and your ICR has to be at a 33.3%. Pretty simple, right? You'd be surprised at how many people do not make this. And then it says transitional study courses. At any time, if you take fundamentals of math or fundamentals of English, you only get 3 attempts at that. Okay, we don't track your ICR or your GPA. You only get 3 attempts. It doesn't matter how high or how low. Obviously, if you're failing, you're going to have a low GPA. But let's say you have a 0.5 GPA. It still doesn't matter. You're still going to be dismissed if you cannot pass that class 3 times. All right. For degree programs, which is your associate's degree or bachelor's degree, at the end of the first academic year, which is 9 months, you have to be at a 1.25 and 50% ICR. Okay. The only group of students that this is different for are nursing students. Okay. It used to be different for our OTA students. It used to be different for our Surg Tech students. Now the only people that this is different for is nursing. Okay, that's a change in the SAP policy.
Tell me again what ICR is.
I'm sorry?
Tell me again what ICR
is. It stands for incremental completion rate. Okay. Basically, you just have to pass more classes than you take, right, or that you fail. You can't, okay? And again, I'll show this to you. Is everybody on board so far? Any questions? Okay. All right. Everybody knows, or you used to know, that you can only take a class. If it was a specialty core class, like an OTA class, you had 2 chances to take it. And if you didn't pass, you were dismissed, correct? Same thing for literature. If you took a literature class, you had 3 chances to pass it. If you did not pass it, you failed, correct? That is no longer. With the new SAP policy, you may take a class as many times as you wish. So I can take Introduction to Literature 13 times. Granted, you will not make it 13 times, but you can take it as many times as you want, okay? So that means that our SAP list is going to get bigger because there are going to be more people with Fs on their GPA. So those GPAs are going to plummet. So I'm going to be catching them. Does everybody understand what I mean when I say that? So now when you have a student in your class for the 6th time taking business communications, you can't say, listen, she's been in here 6 times. Well, if she can take business communications and fail it, and then take literature and make an A, and then business communications and fail it, and then healthcare and make an A, somehow she's going to manage to be okay. It will eventually catch up to her, yes. But as far as repeated failures, that is no longer, okay?
As long as they can pay for it.
As long as they can pay for it. Okay? So that is a very significant change. Any questions about that?
So in other words, what you're saying, Latasha, is they can fail a class, turn right around and make an A, and go back into that same class, and if they fail it again, they can keep repeating that.
Right.
How many times?
As many times as they would like.
Okay.
But no, I say as many times as they would like, but that's not technically true because eventually that GPA is going to get to the 2.0 mark where it comes on my report and I say, oh, Max, you're at a 2.0. It's because you have 6 Fs in business communications. You know, so eventually you're going to get dismissed due to your GPA. But now we're going to let you take it as many times as you want. Say you take it 4 times and you have 4 Fs on your transcript. Every single F counts. 4 Fs count. But say you take it that 5th time and you make an A. The A replaces all those Fs.
That means you can take the class
So-
4 times.
So you can go from, let's say, a 1.6 GPA with all those 4 Fs, and this is just me coming out with the number, and you can make an A in it and come up to a 3.0. Does that make sense?
No, not in reality.
Okay. What may not
It does, it's not fair.
Yeah, every time you take a class and you fail it, every time you take a class and you fail it, that F goes on it's calculated into your GPA. But then if you come and you make a C in it, say you make a C, of course it's not going to give you as many points as an A would give you, but all those Fs fall off. We take the last grade given.
So does that go true for you take a class, they take it the 2nd time? Is that still replacing the first?
Yes.
Okay.
Anytime you take a class, and that holds true now, or in our old policy, if you fail it and you take it and make an A,
Then it's
that F drops off. Okay. As absurd or unrealistic as it may sound, that's the case. Does anybody have any questions about that?
So in other words, the last grade is the one that counts.
The last grade is the one that counts. Again, I want to.
Latasha, the first passing grade.
Thank you. The first passing grade counts. And I want to reiterate this. I've been doing this for 4 years. Students aren't going to be able to take that class 4 times. They're going to be lucky if they get it to the 3rd time, because every time I run this report every month and I have a student who's on there for taking it the 2nd time, their 2nd attempt, they're already on my GPA list to be dismissed. Does that make sense? So you're not going to get, I'm just wanting to point this out that this is a change. You're not going to get students in your classes no more than 3 times. That's guaranteed. I've been doing this for 4 months. I see it. Their GPA is going to be too low. Okay? Just wanted to point that out. Okay. Okay, also, and again, I can show you the chart at the end. If we ever see when I run this report, and again, chairs get this report every month, so I know this is foreign to some of you, but there's a column and it tells you your ICR. And I do have a student on here. Actually, I'll show you those right now. I have a student, Amanda Moore. Okay, Amanda, her ICR right now is at 25%. Okay, her incremental completion rate, she has taken 16 credit hours. She's only passed 4 of them. So she is passing 25% of her classes. Well, at the end of this month, July is her checkpoint. At the end of this month, she must be at a 33.3%. Okay? She is at, I'm sorry, a 66.6%. She's not going to make it. I can tell you that right now. So what that slide was just saying is if we know it's mathematically impossible, I sit down every month with a calculator and I calculate this manually. And if I don't think you can make it, we have to immediately notify you. Otherwise, the government or someone sees it as us taking your money. Yeah. We see that you can't pass, we're still going to let you pay for the class and take it. Okay, so what we do is we go down this list, and if we see it's mathematically impossible for you to make your mark, her mark comes, her checkpoint is at the end of July. her checkpoint, she needs to be at a 1.5 and 66.6%. Currently, she's at a 0.93 GPA and a 25%. So she can't make either. Do we see that? So I have to go to her and say, you're going to be dismissed. We have to go ahead and dismiss her now. Or in this case, and you'll learn this in a slide, a few slides down, she's going to go on probation. Okay? But for all intents and purposes, does everybody kind of see what we do here, what this is? And I can pass this around so you can all kind of take a look.
So what happens after she go on probation?
Well, she'll go on probation for 3 months.
Okay.
And we'll try to get her to her benchmark. If we see that I'll do calculations. If she can't, Felicia and I, if she can't get to that benchmark, we have to dismiss her.
Okay.
But she has 3 months to get to it. So, and I'll go back to that. We'll
But
kind
if
of
that's mathematically impossible, you
Right.
dismiss her now.
right. If it's mathematically impossible, we dismiss her now.
So she's not eligible for probation if it's mathematically impossible.
Yes.
And technically, she's been on probation probably.
Well,
Or
not
you wouldn't know.
technically. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Just so you see though, every month I sit and say, is it mathematically possible? I sit and I do this with every single student. Now, as you notice on this list, there's probably about 70 to 80 students. Okay, and we see if it's mathematically possible. Typically, we have 1 student every 3 months that it's mathematically impossible. So this isn't something that's extremely common, but as you can see, we have one this month. Okay, I haven't had one probably 2 or 3 months, but we do have one this month. So SAP just tells us that you have to go through, and if you see a student that's mathematically impossible for them to meet their checkpoint, and I assign everyone a checkpoint as soon as they come in, if it's mathematically impossible, you have to tell them. Otherwise, they see this as taking their money. Okay? To be removed from probation, you have to meet your checkpoint the next go around. So let's say everybody has a checkpoint in July. People who don't meet their checkpoint this July go on probation. If they've already been on probation, they get dismissed. Okay, so you have a chance to go on probation, and then before you're dismissed.
You have 1 chance for probation?
1 chance for probation before you're dismissed. Does that make sense? Everybody? So if you're on probation, the only way you get off of probation is to get above your benchmark in the next 3 months. Remember, benchmarks are every 3 months. Unless you're a degree program, you get your first 9 months and then you get a second 9 months.
But you don't wait for that. You wait for that?
No, we don't
months,
sit
and
and
then after
wait.
3 months you see?
We don't sit and wait. If you'll
Okay.
look, and again, I can start, after this is over, I'll explain this to you guys, but I send a report out every month to the department chairs. And the department chairs look, and it's projected out till, I don't know, I think next March. So what we do, I sit with the department chairs and I say, hey, I know this person's checkpoint doesn't come up till January, but Max, I don't know, he's not doing too well. Maybe we should get Max on a plan. Because in January, he's going to stop out
Sounds like a
probably.
good idea.
So there are a lot of students who, slide in at the end. We do have SAP dismissals. I mean, I don't know if you guys see closing reports, but that's basically my job here is I track every student and I try to keep them in school. It's very tough. And I mean, if everybody we were all, that's kind of why we want you guys to see it. So when I come to you and I say, hey, Max is doing really bad and this is his last chance. He needs a C in this class. Tell me what he needs from me. Tell me how I can assist him. Does he need tutoring every day? Does he need to meet with his department chair every day? Does he need to talk to the dean every day? What can we do to get Max a C in this class? Otherwise, he's out of school. That's kind of the point in us telling you what the SAP process is. This is something we do every month with our students. I've projected this out, I think, until March. Is as far as we track it out. And I do it at the beginning of every month. So no, we're well aware. Unfortunately, we just get a lot of students who, if they're on that SAP list, they have a lot of other issues other than school, and it doesn't matter how much I beg them, I go to them, I tutor them, or the dean talks to them, or their president talks to them. Some of them you just can't save for whatever reason. So questions about probation.
How long are they on probation?
They get 3 months to be on probation.
Okay.
They have 3 months to fix it. Because you come up, so say July, they come up in July and they go on probation. In October, we're ready for them again. They have to clean up their act by October, for lack of better words.
So even though that's not their next checkpoint, you're gonna look at them and they have.
It
to
is the
be
next
back.
checkpoint. Remember, every 3 months.
But if they're a degree program, it's not 3 months.
It's 9 months.
Okay, but even then, you would still 3 months or
Yes.
not.
Yes.
You would make them a new checkpoint.
Yes.
So let me just ask, so if it's mathematically